So yesterday, I walked from Avoca all the way down through Wadhams on the Wadhams to Avoca Trail. The whole thing is 12 miles. It's just like a flat. Uh, some of it's paved and then some of it's gravel. Um, yeah, the whole thing is 12 miles. I started in Avoca. Well, I got to the end, so I was all by myself. So the only way to get back to my car was to turn around and do it again. So I walked 24 miles yesterday. And I say that not to brag, but I say that because of the intensity of my uh how do I say that? I was pushed to my limits, and I was pushed emotionally and physically. Those two were the big. No, not really emotionally, because I'll say mentally. I think I was pushed more mentally and physically. Those were my limits. Um, they didn't limit me, but I found that they were limiting. And to be able to push past those things, I'm here today, and I just feel the most vital I have in a minute. Like I've been kind of um, melancholy a lot lately, especially this weird spring we're having in Michigan. It's just this transition from winter to summer is taking a little bit longer than what I've known it to be, and it's just been a little bit more colder than it has in the past. So it's just been kind of wearing on me about getting out and about and staying active and moving. So I really had to drag myself out, and I got out there at like 12:30 yesterday, and I didn't get back to my car till 9 p.m. So I was walking for a good 8.5 hours. Didn't really stop much. It was just all the way through. Um, but what I learned on that was the importance of good posture. Walking all that way with a hunched back or improper mechanics, you feel it much quicker, and you deteriorate much quicker. Your stamina doesn't go as far. Your endurance is much less. It's a lot harder to keep good spirits when you have poor posture. So walking 24 miles with some damn good posture was quite the feat. That felt really good. And I wouldn't have been able to achieve that if I would have only went 12 miles or 5 miles. Because for me, that wasn't my limit. My personal limits are those things that just seem so adventurous to the average person that I won't say the most average people, but just the most average situations don't limit me. I really have to go above and beyond. I have to go and do those really crazy feats because that's how far my mind can go. And I'm trying to facilitate my body to do the same thing. So the whole point I'm getting at, though, is push those limits, because you experience things, whether it be through your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, when you do that. I mean, I've heard a lot of motivational stories by people who think that they can't keep going, but they have no other choice to, and then they learn something about it. So go and push your limits, because there are parts of you that are waiting to be seen by yourself, and they're parts that liberate you and empower you into being more uniquely you and healthy and feel good about it. It doesn't have to be walking 12 miles or 24 miles or walking at all. It could be reading a book. Like, try to challenge yourself to read a book in a week or whatever, or 5 books in a week. Like, it could be anything that stretches your comfort zone. And that's a very repetitive concept. It is something that gets reiterated a lot. And it's just getting out of your comfort zone, and that is growth. The other thing, though, that I wouldn't have realized without going on that walk yesterday was I know I'm kind of shifting topics here, going on a little tangent, but I realized that doing these big adventures and pushing my limits is something that I really, really enjoy. And it just so happens that my modality is through the body. It's through walking, it's through being active, it's through health and fitness, and yeah, it's through the body. So I am not, the conclusion that I came to is that I'm not looking for more money in this lifetime. I'm not trying to acquire more wealth in order to do more things, because that hike of just walking costed me nothing. Yeah, sure, I spent some money on like some food to be able to carry with me so I could eat throughout the trail, but like that's not the principle. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that it costed me virtually no monetary value to be able to just use my body and move and push myself to those limits. So I realized that we don't have to acquire more wealth to get the things that we want. We just have to build on the already existing willpower that resides in us to go and grab the things that we desire or the things that we want. That's why I don't think desires are bad. People relate to desires as to your egotistical wants, but I've heard a lot of controversy about like you should kill your ego, or ego is a good way to see what you want. And I think the latter is true. I think using your ego to get your desires is almost like taming a wild beast. It's like your ego is always going to be wild. It's going to always be primal and self-absorbed. But if you can ride yourself, if you can put some reins on your inner beast and let it use its power to get you where you want to go, but you are ultimately in control of where you take it. That's harnessing your willpower, you know? So you don't need these, you know, your ego wants this money and this, maybe this fame or this power, but it's learning how to control that and to navigate your inner world to the point where you don't need those external things. You're just experiencing yourself through your willpower. It's like, I don't need money to go for a hike and a walk. I just want to go for a hike and a walk, and I will find a way to do it. I don't have to have the nicest shoes, the nicest backpack, or the nicest REI outfitter clothing apparel to protect myself from the rain. You know, like it's just a matter of how much do you want something and how much will you allow yourself to go after and get it. Like this is what it means to be limitless. There are limiting things, but they don't limit you. Like there has to be boundaries, there has to be borders around ideas and concepts in order to make it relative, but they're there for you to break out of, to see the bigger picture of it. This is all stemming from pushing my own inner boundaries. These revelations I'm having that I'm able to share and to be able to communicate outwardly is a skill I'm cultivating, but it's being honest with yourself too and knowing what it is that you want. So being honest also plays into this. You don't need the money. The money is just energy. The money is just energy. The money is just energy. It's not the money itself that's doing anything to you. Yes, with more money, you can do these other things. Sure. But if you feel like you can't do anything without money, you're limiting yourself. You're limiting the potential of what you are. Just the potential, not the kinetic. It's just the potential. You can do and be anything. So find out where you want to go and just climb over these obstacles. And money is one of them. Getting over the fear that you need money to have the things that you want is a tough one to climb, to get through. But the day, the moment, the feeling where you start to tackle that and you start to go after what you want, you start to use your willpower instead of your fear to motivate you, you will gain more clarity. You will feel healthy in the mind, in the body, in the emotional capabilities, the ability to connect with people and be there for people and not be, anxious or depressed because you're so worried about yourself because you're not being honest. And I'm speaking that with conviction because I experience it. I let myself get anxious and depressed around other people because I don't take care of myself enough to know what I need. I'm always preaching these things to myself, these expansive and these, open mind conversations, but it is hard to apply them to myself. So I know where the struggle comes from. It's not as easy as seeing a video and then getting off the social media and then going and doing it. I get that. But these are just here. These videos are here. These moments are here just for you to be inspired. That is what inspiration is. It's a quick, it's a match. It's like a light, or it's a lighter, lighting a match. It's just passing on my fire, not making you be my flame. You light a match or you light a lighter, that lighter is always generating and it's its own thing. And then you take a match and you light the match. Well, now this match, it was lit by that lighter, but it's still its own burn. This will burn out and this will stay the same. And it's just passing the flame. It's just passing that inspiration until maybe that match finds a candle. Now the flame burns longer. Sometimes information it's not always for that person, right? It's like that lighter, this consistent energy of heat and passion and flame lights a match. This person gives this information, this heat to another person, and if it stays only with them, it may burn out because it wasn't for them. But the idea is to find the part of you that is burning and then to pass that on. And now because this lighter lit a match, that lit a candle, that fire now gets to be burned for a lot longer of a time because that candle was made to burn longer than the match. Sometimes information isn't for you, but it's my intent to just try to be as inspirational as possible so that it can have this chain reaction, so it can carry out and keep going. I love what is happening right now. If you are connected to feeling all of this that is coming out of my mouth, this is exactly what it's about. Passing the inspiration on. I'm going to conclude with that. I feel really uplifted, and I hope that this kind of transcends beyond your... No, see, I'm stretching. I don't need to stretch. I've said what I've had to say. I hope it's inspired you. I hope you've been able to make a story out of what I said. And I hope that this story ignites something in you to push your limits. And I hope when you push your limits, that it inspires somebody else to keep pushing theirs. I love you all. Have a great life, day, year, month, second. I wish you all the best. Thank you.